What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. But even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
Karen, does that house look familiar to you?
No.
You know what that house is? No idea, right?
I know what it is, but it's not familiar to me because I've never seen the movie.
She knows what it is because I've told her this is
so many times.
This is the original home where the 1974 The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed. And they have completely refurbished this home. It's now a restaurant called the Grand Central Cafe, located in Kingsland, Texas. Now, I've been doing my research and trivia on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You spent more time on this location than you have in all of Texas.
I have. So ask me some trivia questions, like for instance, was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre actually filmed here in Kingsland?
No, it was not.
It was not. It was filmed in Round Rock, Texas, and the house, after the filming, the house was actually completely dismantled, and it was brought over here to Kingsland, Texas, where they've refurbished it exactly the way it was, and it is now a restaurant, the Grand Central Cafe. Now, the movie was made in 1974, but do you know any trivia about the movie?
No, because I've never seen it.
Because I've done my trivia. The movie was made in 1974, and it was started off by a group of college students that were going to the University of Austin, and the primary guy, although there were several involved, the primary guy's name was Toby Hooper, and he made the film for, at that time, equivalent to $700,000. If you were to take the money that they filmed for it back then and adjusted it to inflation and everything else back in 2021, it was made for $700,000, but in today's dollars, it made about $120 million. So it was actually very, 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 very successful. It was one of the first really true slasher films to come out, really, of that genre of slasher films. And is this now one of the things they talk about at the very beginning of the film?
We're spending so much time on this.
One of the things they talk about in the beginning of the film is they say, this is a true story. But it is not a true story. So a little bit of misinformation there. It is not a true story. It is very, very loosely based off of, you probably have no idea about this, do you?
I don't care.
It is loosely based off of a real life, I guess you call him serial killer. The guy had actually killed two different people. His name was Ed Gein from Wisconsin, and in 1957, he was arrested in Wisconsin for killing two women, and when the police did a search warrant on his home for the murder of those two women, they found over 40 other body parts inside the home, and it turned out for over many years he had actually been going to the local graveyard and digging up dead bodies and brought the dead bodies into his home. So it's loosely based off of Ed Gein, because in the movie there is a little bit about grave robbing.
What a filthy job. Could be worse. How? Could be raining.
Not really. It's more about...
Oh, stop. Don't tell them about the movie. They're
Okay.
fine. It's been around for 40 years.
Anyway, so we're going to go inside now. We're going to have lunch, and we're going to check it out.
It's a little cold out here.
A little cold. Let's go inside. All set? In all seriousness, the Grand Central Cafe is a wonderful place to stop by and have a bite to eat in Central Texas. The quality and service of the Grand Central Cafe often receives high reviews on both Yelp and Google. As for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre claim to fame, there is just enough movie paraphernalia located inside the restaurant and bar area, which is known as the club car, to make it interesting but not overwhelm the senses. Two things of note for you Hollywood movie horror fans like me: you are free to explore the restaurant, including the upstairs, where you will find an interesting surprise. And if you ask the hostess if the cook is available to put on his Leatherface disguise, they will come to your table in full costume, complete with holding a chainsaw. Totally awesome. That's awesome. Old Grandpa from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if any of you have ever seen the movie, you know that if you go upstairs into the second floor of the house, that's where they kept Grandpa at, and there he is. So this is the upstairs. And it's actually very nicely kept up. And the furnishings in here are really nice. It looks like they have a bar here. It's not open right now. Then they got some photographs from Texas Chainsaw Massacre trivia. An iconic scene. Who couldn't forget the crazed hitchhiker? There's Grandpa. A family portrait. And then the stairs obviously went up, and that's where the back area where they did all the, well, that's where Leatherface came out of when we first saw him. Okay, so Karen, we're going to do a tour now of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. Yeah. Do you know why this is so important, what this scene is? That is the scene where Leatherface first makes his appearance. There's a sliding door, and he comes out with the chainsaw. Let's go take a look, see if we can find him. This is your bucket list, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
So there's like a sliding door, and he would slide this door open, and he came out the chainsaw. But he's not here now. So takes us back.
No kidding.
No kidding. Crazed hitchhiker. Okay, so we finished up lunch here at the Grand Central Cafe. Karen, what was your impression of the Grand Central Cafe lunch?
That sounded so stilted. No, it's actually such an elegant restaurant. I mean, I get that Phil's here for something other than elegance.
I'm shocked.
But I honestly, it's just it's a beautiful old home with a lot of really original touches inside. The flooring, the cornices. I mean, it's a beautiful restaurant, and I really liked it.
Yeah, the quality
and the food was great.
Yeah, the quality of the food was really good. In fact, we read some local reviews, and it said that the food was actually award-winning cuisine. And when we got here, it really was good. So it's not just like comfort food or something you'd find just a regular old restaurant along the highway. It's actually a really good restaurant, and there is enough movie trivia to keep horror geeks like me interested. but it's not too much.
It's not. In my opinion, I think more than anything, it's a nice, elegant restaurant that just happens to have had a history connected to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. So I mean, it's a footnote in its history.
Yeah, there's a few photographs up on the wall, and there's a couple other small things. I don't want to be a spoiler and give them away, but there's a few things up there. One thing though to keep in mind, that if you really are into the Hollywood nostalgia of all this, you can ask your server if the cook will come out in a leather apron and a leather face on and a chainsaw and everything. We didn't know that, but even if we did know, and we asked later on, there's only 1 or 2 people, cooks, that do it, and that cook for today does not start until 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we're going to be long gone by then. But if you're lucky enough and you want the Texas Chainsaw guy to come out with a chainsaw and leather face and everything like that, oh yeah, that's part of the deal.
No, you know what? He thinks that's fun, but the restaurant inside is pretty elegant. I need to stress that. So I think for some diehard fans, it's more of a, I think it's more of a novelty than the actual people who go there every day.
But anyways, it is a very nice restaurant. It's a very nice bar, actually. It's all very clean. We bought a t-shirt. And then also right next to it is this place called the Antler Inn over here. And you can actually spend the night here. So you can spend the night here in Kingsland, Texas, if you want to come across and have breakfast, lunch, or dinner out here at the Grand Central Cafe. You're really gonna have an really amazing experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, up next, we're gonna go find out where the creature of the Black Lagoon lives. No, we're not gonna do that? Of course we are.